Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody this fine Saturday? It is extremely hot outside today. We're already reaching temperatures of I think it says it's it's 81 outside today. So we're going to come and play with some makeup. I like to do these Saturday lives because we can play with old stuff, play with new stuff, and just kind of chit chat and chill. So got my hair out of my face. I figured today we would play with one of my favorite Pat McGrath palettes, if not my favorite. This is the number 5, the Bronze Seduction. And I just wanted to do something kind of neutral but glowy. So I am all excited. I don't know how y'all are, but sometimes I just want tried and true, trusty old makeup. And as I said, this is one of my absolute favorite Pat McGrath palettes. But we're going to play with other makeup too, like foundations and all of that stuff. So we'll start off by priming our eyes. This is the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base in the shade Light. So we'll start blending this out. Here we go. So hopefully everybody is doing well today. I don't know how many people are going to be here because my friend Kelly from Keep Beauty Real is doing a live over the new velour shades from Glam Shop on her channel. She could only do it at this time. So we have lives at the same time. So you can always catch me back on replay. No big deal. But yeah, I'll blend this out. That's still a good eyeshadow primer. Hey, Locke, how are you doing today? I didn't post this on Instagram. I probably should have, but I didn't. But yeah, Saturday's a popular day. Saturday afternoons are a popular day to do lives. But yeah, for me, I just schedule at the same time every week. So eye tapes, let's play. So as I said, this is the Bronze Seduction from Pat McGrath. This is my all-time favorite palette. This is the palette I go to from Pat McGrath if I've got like an event at school where I don't have to think about it. I know that this is going to be quote unquote appropriate, but still fun. I'm doing really good, Locke, just trying to beat the heat. I was saying that it's 81 degrees outside already, but it feels hotter than that. But you just can't beat Mama Pat for her pigmentation. I love her matte formula, but I love her special formula too. Like, see how just simple that is? How easy that blends out? Now, I'm not telling people to go spend $125 on an eyeshadow palette, but if you're in the market for motherships, this is one of my favorites. And I feel like, and this was the first one I actually bought because I was like, well, if I'm going to spend that much money on a palette, at least it will be something I will use all the time. Yeah, Locke, it's 81. It is so freaking hot outside. It's not even funny, but it feels hotter than that. And it's humid. I think all next week when I check the weather, but it changes all the time. All next week, it's supposed to be rainy. So just blending this shade out. We're not going to do anything super fancy today. We're just going to play with neutrals. Hey, Steven, I'm glad you're able to make it. But yeah. See how pretty that is? And Steven had brought up was looking at getting a mothership. And I was like, so he asked me what my favorite one was. And that's why I decided to pull this out. I was like, let's do a really pretty neutral look. Because I know I play with color all the time, but sometimes it's good to, play with some neutrals. See, Locke, I don't know how, I will be if I move out of Texas and it's not the heat and humidity. Because I have lived other places. It's just, I prefer heat. No, it doesn't have to be humid, but I do prefer heat. So y'all are going to have the same kind of weather next week, it seems like, Stephen. Next, I'm going into this deeper brown shade right here. But yeah, we get lots and lots of humidity because we're on the coast. So it's kind of annoying, but that's the only thing I don't like about it is because the humidity. But I'll tell you this, when we lived in California, when Jeremy was in the Navy, we lived in Lemoore, California, which isn't far outside of Death Valley. It was the dry heat. So it'd be 104 during the day and then like 50 at night. It was the weirdest thing to me ever. But yeah. And we lived where a lot of farms were. So they would have like dairy farms. And a lot of their farms would specialize in certain produce. Like on our drive home from the base to where we lived, which we lived in Coalinga, California, which was about 45 minutes or so away from the base, there were farms on either side of the road. So they had one that had cows for dairy, which you remember those commercials where they would say happy cows come from California. If you've ever seen a dairy farm in California, I don't know how there is a happy cow in California. They have methane meters because for cows, they expel quite a bit of gas and they pack them in there so tight it can cause an explosion. I didn't know that till living there. So they have methane meters to make sure it's not too high. But then there was an orange grove and a green onion farm. So,
and a garlic farm.
Oh yeah, garlic too. It was not fun, especially when it was hot. The way that place smelled was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. But yeah, see how easy that is? Just a beautiful neutral look. But yeah, when I'm done here, I'm going to go catch Kelly's replay. So I think I'm going to go for this rose gold shimmer all over the lid. This is such a pretty color. I love Mama Pat's formula. You see how sparkly that is? It's so good. And like even there's like the pretty iridescent shades that are duochromes or multichromes. Just so good. I love her formula. If you haven't played with it, I definitely recommend looking into it. But you can find, they'll put like the quads sometimes on sale. And that would be how I would recommend trying like her special shades. So I'm just using some glitter glue like I always do. Oh, and then a ColourPop E18. And we're going to apply some shimmer because I can't get enough of anything sparkly. And I feel like, at least to me, like if I'm going to spend this much on an eyeshadow palette, I want it to be something I go back to all the time. So we're going to go into the rose gold and tap that on there. So freshman year of college, I was near a chocolate factory, smelled amazing. Changed schools sophomore year and lived down the street from the farms. So I got the other kind of chocolate. Yeah. There is something about like, and here in Texas, we have lots of ranches where they have cattle and stuff like that for beef, but they're spread way out because cows will eat a lot of grass and stuff. So they have to have a lot of land, and you have to change their pasture quite often. Now I don't know how they feed the dairy cows, but like for grass-fed beef and stuff like that, that's what they have to do. So they have to me, they're a little bit happier, but then again, they don't they don't have long lives here. It's like farm to table. Jeremy's uncle does ranching, so. Oh, I can imagine living by a bakery. If I lived by a bakery, I would be so big because I would want to eat nothing but the bread. There is nothing better in my mind than fresh baked bread. We have Texas Roadhouse around here. Well, I'm sure it's a chain restaurant, so y'all have them too, I'm sure, in certain places. And the fresh rolls that have the honey butter with them, those are amazing. No, I don't go pick my own cow. Because here's the thing about it. It's like I tell Jeremy, because I'm like, because we've discussed like how we want to live at different points. Like, do we want to live in the country? Do we want to live in the city? I'm like, well, if we live in the country, we can get animals like chickens and cows and ducks and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, I wouldn't be able, like, they would be pets by that point. They're not food. So, yeah. If I see it and it has a face and I know it, then I cannot eat it. I'm still using the Chantecaille mascara till it's gone. But yeah, I mean, and that's one of the big draws. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever been to a rodeo, but we have like the Houston rodeo and all that. One of the big things that's a draw for it is the livestock shows. So they have like beautiful cows and pigs, and they sell for a lot of money. Rabbits and chickens. There's like designer bunnies. Do you want to, what kind of pig do you want? Do you want like a potbelly or just a regular pig? I love all animals. As my kids, everybody in my household jokes because I'm the animal whisperer. I'm going to use, this is the Auric Glow Lust in, what shade is this? I've been using this as a primer, as a glowy primer again. And I love the color of it, especially since I've gotten a few shades darker with working out outside. I wear sunscreen. Don't worry. It's just, I still, like, I tan so easily. And I'm out there for so long that it doesn't matter. But I always feel funny, like, when I put this on before I have anything else on, because I feel like the Tin Man. But this does work beautifully as a glowy primer. Yeah, they've got like potbelly pigs. I forget there are a lot of different types of pigs. I don't know all of them, but like, because I think there are some that even have longer hair. I'd have to look it up, because that's one of the things you get to go see, like at the livestock shows, all these different animals, and it's kind of crazy. So I'm going to use for foundation. This is the Butter Pecan foundation stick from Huda Beauty. The Butter Pecan is my shade, and it was dark, a little dark when I first bought this, which was in winter. And now it's still a little warm, even though it's supposed to be a neutral undertone, but like it blends in much better. Like, it looks dark on my neck, but you can see that my neck compared to my face and my body, because I'm walking outside, it doesn't see as much sun. So I have to make sure when I'm using it to blend it down the neck, but it is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. We're going to use the BK Beauty 101. This is a great foundation brush. So yeah, the state fair here, well, in Texas, we have like a state fair, but then we have, because Texas is such a big state, we have like regional fairs too that are like Southeast Texas State Fair. We have that in Beaumont, because to get to the actual state fair, because Texas is so big, it's like a 6-hour drive. Most people don't realize, like from where I live in Texas, it is closer for me, or it is more mileage for me to drive from here to El Paso than it is El Paso to California. Texas is big. Whenever we moved, because Jeremy, whenever he was in the Navy, was stationed, we went from Florida to California. The most of our drive, it took us 2 days to get across Texas. I have ridden a camel in Pensacola. I have fed a giraffe. Now, I will tell you, giraffes have the weirdest feeling tongues. They feel like a cat, but they're big, like huge. But they're sweet animals. But yeah, I love anywhere where I can see animals as much as possible. I am all in. But see how pretty that foundation looks? And it blends in like a dream. Part of the reason why I enjoy it so much. Like the regular Huda Beauty foundation was so full coverage. And this has a lot of coverage to it, but you can still see your imperfections through it. So it's not like full on full coverage. It's just, it blends in and it doesn't have a scent. The regular Huda Beauty does. It's terrible. So speaking of Huda Beauty, we're going to use the Tantour in medium. This is a great product, but a little goes a long way with it. I originally, because I think this came out in summer, and I originally bought the tan shade because most of the time, like during summer, medium can be a little pale on me. Not for this. Like, this is one of the best like bronzer shade ranges I have seen. And a little bit goes a long way. And this is her brush that I bought with it. And it works well because I use the little side to apply it and then the big side to blend it out. But you can see how pretty that looks on the skin. One of my favorite cream products as far as cream bronzers go. And it's kind of a mixture between bronzer and contour. But yeah, I always wonder, because I went to one of those like wildlife parks whenever Caden was little in Pensacola. And now I wonder, like after seeing Tiger King, if it was one of those types of places. I don't remember if you could like take pictures. Like I know you could take pictures. They had like birds and stuff like that. But I don't remember if you could take pictures with the big cats. But yeah, there we go. See how pretty that looks? I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Add a little bit to contour the nose. Even though I hardly ever contour my face. But this works well for both. Okay. Now we're getting... Ooh, I need to go ahead and put on my lashes. The one thing about being done with doing the mascara thing is I can wear lashes again. I missed wearing false lashes like so much. I try not to be like super, what is it, high maintenance, but there's something about false eyelashes with a good makeup look that just makes me happy. I mean, I don't wear like crazy big false lashes. Not that I have anything against them. It's just those type don't work on my eye shape. Like these are the Eyelure Accent number 5s. I buy these suckers in bulk when I can because they're just, see the difference that makes? It's just the most perfect lash. Thank you, Locke. I love, like, especially during the summertime, I love a good glowy finish like foundation, and it just makes me happy. Now, I am going to use some cream products and then set it with powder products because that is something I definitely love to do. But yeah, if you're looking for a easy to apply lash, I definitely recommend these Eyelure Accents. These are my absolute favorite, and I've been using them now for like 3 years, and I've tried a lot of them. Yes, Nadia wears a big lash, but she's got the eye space to do it. Like if I had more eyelid space where it didn't look like I was wearing nothing but lash, I probably would be more into the big lashes. But at this point, it doesn't look like that on me. Like the lashes, anytime I've tried to wear a bigger lash, they just take over my face. But yeah. And school is almost finished here. Cameron is 2 weeks left of school. Then it's summertime. See how good that looks? Easy to apply. Okay, let's do some concealer. I'm using the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. Let me tell you, this concealer is definitely not my favorite, but I'm trying to use it up. This one creases pretty bad, even though it's not supposed to. Like, it's just not the best concealer, at least not in my opinion. But yeah, Nadia, her lashes literally look like 3 or 4 of the sets I wear put together. They're like big everywhere. And she can pull it off. I cannot. Oh, to be young and have lots of eye space again. I say that, but I really never had a lot of eyelid space. I just have more wrinkles now than anything. But yeah. I mean, this does blend out well. It's just not my favorite. So I am going to use, this is the Sundown blush from Melt, the cream from their cream line. Look how pretty that is. It just has the best glowy finish. Oh, exactly, Locke. To be young again and appreciating my youth. Okay, so Alma, you want a good drugstore setting powder. The Maybelline Fit Me Loose is really good. Okay. See how pretty that is? And this stuff smells amazing. So now we're going to go ahead and set. Today I'm not using drugstore. So I'm going to set my under eyes. This is the Pat McGrath Labs, the medium under eye setting powder. I haven't used this in forever. I forgot about it, which is probably not the best thing. So where's my brush? I'm going to grab, this is a Spectrum B08. And I'm going to set under my eyes. This is a good powder, though. Also, the Coty Airspun, but it kind of depends on what you're looking for. Because powders are one of those things that's kind of a personal thing where sometimes you want something that is, because there are some that are a little bit more dewy. This is the Fenty bronzer in Butter. Powder everywhere. And when it's summertime, I do set my face more so than I do whenever it's cooler out, because if not, my makeup will just melt off because it's just too hot outside. I love this powder. Even though it's called Butter, it's not really a yellowy powder. I'm glad you're able to come, Cicely. Trust me, it's one of those days. You know, even though it's a weekend, there's always stuff to do. Okay, this is the tan palette from Natasha Denona. And this bronzer shade up here, this is, cannot read what that says, but this is a really pretty bronzer for like a medium skin tone. See how pretty that is? And it blends out like a dream. And this is the Spectrum. What brush is this? The C07. You're supposed to use this for contour, but I think it works beautifully for bronzer. I have a scratch on my face from Layla. See how easy that is? Because sometimes once you put on foundation and stuff and powders and all that, you kind of lose some of the definition on your face. This one's a powder bronzer. The one I used earlier, the Huda one, is a cream. And these are two of my favorites. You can actually see, because I own a lot of products, you can see how much of a dip is in the Huda one because it's so good. And the Natasha Denona, I have all of these little 4-pan face palettes that she makes, but this one's one of my favorites. Again, you can see how much has been dipped into on that bronzer. It looks messy, but she gets still a great powder. I'm going to go back into the Sundown blush over the powder. And one thing I have figured out with these melt cream blushes, because sometimes when you go in with a cream blush, you cannot go over a powder. With it, it lifts everything underneath. These melt ones, it doesn't do that. And I like this one because I use it a little bit on my nose, and it almost, because I don't really sunburn, but it makes it kind of look like I have a little bit of a sunburn, if that makes sense. I kind of like how that looks. But yeah, very, very easy look. For highlight today, I'm going to use, this is the Melt Gold Ore. This is a beautiful highlight. This is one of their digital dust highlights. You see how just, I don't know, there's something about their digital dust formula that you see how just naturally glowy that looks. It doesn't have like a cakey, powdery finish. Yes, this one, Sundown, is like, I think this one's probably my favorite color out. I own all 8 of these cream blushes by Melt. This one's my favorite. Hands down. I've used it more than any of the others. Thank you, Elma. But yeah, so this brush, Steven got one of these too. This is the brush, the A33 from Spectrum. It's like a paddle brush. It's a really weird brush, but this to apply highlight is like the absolute best brush. I told my husband, I was like, okay, I really enjoy the brushes I got from Spectrum. When they do another sale like they did, because I bought this set 50% off, I was like, I want to get more. because they're so good. Yeah, and Steven, I think that kind of color would also look like if you're wanting to have more color. I need to get Nadia to try it to see what she thinks of it. Did you hear? Yeah, you might need to try it with different formulas because on some of them that are hard pressed, I think it could be a problem, but you can see like I'm just taking like the flat side, picks up product, and then see how easy that just like completely applied to my hand? Isn't that pretty? I wish I could be like my skin look like this all the time. Spectrum so far has some amazing, amazing brushes. This is MAC Fix Plus. This is in the All Day Hydrating Spray. I like that one. Oh, I'm sure it would be great too with a loose highlight. I don't own very many loose highlights. I already have enough issue with like loose powders. I don't go for them as often as I used to because I always make a mess. I try not to, but I do. So today we're going to use, this is the Brow Blade from Urban Decay. I haven't used this one in forever, and this is in the shade Brunette Betty. I really like this pencil because altogether because it has a liquid side that is great for doing hair strokes. And then the other side is soft enough to feel in your brow. See how quickly I just did that? Without them looking crazy. And then you can take the felt tip side and it creates, you see, just like little actual looking hair strokes. But yeah. See how easy that was? I mean, like that's a good brow in no time. And it is getting time to go get them waxed again. They're kind of getting a little unruly as far as shape goes. But if you find like whenever Ulta does their sales, like their 21 Days of Beauty, or you can find the Brow Blade on 50% off, I think it's definitely worth it when it's like 50% off. So I think it makes it like $12. And it's a good thing. I haven't tried the Milani one. I need to. Typically, I forget that I like a thing like this because I just typically go in with a pencil. Exactly. Loose powders, they're like, I pull them out every once in a while because they're just so messy. I'm lucky that I have decent brows without filling them in. But I do like to fill them in. Don't know if you can see that. I got a little crazy. I don't have I have the NYX, the micro brow pencil, but I don't have the one with the felt tip. The Brow Blade was the first one I bought like that because I went to Sephora and they had it on sale. So I was like, we'll try it. And I really enjoyed it because I've seen lots of reviews on this like felt tip style. It's just a little bit harder to work with. This one's not hard, but I mean, like if you've got to do lots of little hair-like strokes, I think that it could become a little on the tedious side, if that makes sense. Okay. So we're getting there. Don't have much left to do, actually. Okay, so I'm going to line my waterline. This is the Pat McGrath Permagel in Extreme Black. I do really like her eye pencils, but again, I wouldn't pay full price because, like, if you watch me, I use the ColourPop ones all the time because they are phenomenal. And anytime I wear false lashes, I take this because these are like accents, so they don't go all the way to the end. So I take my pencil and go just on the inner waterline on the top so it doesn't make my lashes look so fake. They will, because it is a felt tip. And I mean, like a pencil's, I have never had a pencil like actually dry out. I mean, I've had them where they kind of do, but once you start to use them again, it warms them up and they work better. But I've never had one actually dry out. Okay, so the Milani Weekender has the tiniest little tip, which is fantastic. You shave off half your brow. You are brave. I don't think I would feel comfortable like shaving off my brow. I don't have enough patience. It's like I want to do a drag look, but I'm scared to block my eyebrows because I don't know if I could even make my like eyebrows look like they were kissing cousins. You know, they're supposed to be sisters or trying to get them to look like twins, but I don't even think I can make them look like kissing cousins. And maybe that's only a Southern phrase. So I'm going to use, this is the purpley shade. And this is a Lunar LB5. And we're going to use this under the lower lash line. Because to me, this is like summer smoked out. This is like summer glam. Got a summer wedding. This would be a look that I would do. There we go. But yeah. And I know lots of people who draw in their brows like completely because they're blonde and can't do it. Yes, I should. We keep talking about it. It's just it's nerve-wracking. See how smoky that looks? I can't. I love a good glam look anytime, and I don't mind playing with color, but I know some people aren't comfortable doing a lot of color. So doing something like this definitely kind of shows you that you can still have color without it being, do something like this where it's not too crazy. So I'm going into this iridescent shade right here. And this is a BK Beauty, 207. This is like a really, yes, we should do a drag look for June Magpies, but I need some practice first. Look how pretty that is. This iridescent shade in here, one of the reasons why I love it is it almost makes, you see how it almost makes it look like my eyes glow in the dark, or it almost looks like that kind of neon-y pigment. That's how I see it. Look how pretty that looks. And I like this to kind of be a little bit more blown out, to have a little bit extra. It's like fairy dust in your inner corner. It's a way to add a little bit of fun without it being too crazy. Okay, Steven. It's requested. We're going to have to do a drag look. You hear that, Nadia? Yeah. Got to get your glue sticks ready. I mean, I'm sure I could. I might need help drawing back. Oh, maybe I can order. Have y'all seen those eyebrow thingies that are like temporary tattoos? I wonder if I could order some of those to put my eyebrows back on. That's the only part that I worry about. It's not the covering. It's not the makeup, like the carving out and all that kind of stuff. It is literally trying to draw eyebrows back on. So, Rupee, it's going to be a challenge for you too. You're going to do it. This is the Pat McGrath Permagel Lip Pencil in the shade Buff. This is one of my favorites. I have way too much Pat McGrath stuff. And I'm trying to figure out which blushes I want. It kind of depends on what Mama Pat comes out with as far as bundles. What kind of deal I can get, because those suckers are expensive. So we'll see. But look, just easy peasy. Yeah, we'll have to do magpies later that day. Either that or we'll have to do like a special edition magpies, like drag night. Like do it on a night, like a night. So we can sit there for hours. And then this is the liquid lipstick from Mama Pat in Divine Nude. The new ones are amazing. Her old liquid lip formula was terrible. Jeremy bought me all of those for a Christmas gift, and literally those things were like, it was like $300 for like 10 lipsticks, and they were bad. But these are really good. So, there we go. That's about as simple and easy as it gets. I mean, literally, this took me, even talking, 40 minutes. But you see? Easy peasy glam. Yes, we can turn it into a roast of makeup. I like that, Rupee. So, I guess that's it for today's live. We will be back next Saturday at 2 p.m. because I want to go try to catch the tail end of Kelly's. Thank you all for joining me. And I love you. Bye.